Did you know tapping can be used for more than just healing and release? Recently in one of my classes, one of my students asked, I know that we can release all of this stuff, but can I use tapping to reinforce the good? And not only is it possible, that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. This is Monterastelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 611, originally aired May 15th, 2024. Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well, wherever you are, and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to join me. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Now, I can still remember that very first time I experienced tapping for my anxiety. And I can still remember the kind of disorienting amazement I experienced on the other side of that, where there was that release. Like, I always think about it kind of like a pair of shoes that were too tight. And when you take them off, you can kind of tell that the shoes were there. You can kind of feel them on your feet, but there's a sense of freedom and liberation that comes on the other side of that. And that tapping is so powerful in doing that and helping us to let go of limiting beliefs and emotions and stories that we are carrying around, and even being able to deal with physical pains and other things that are holding us back. And we have an entire catalog, hundreds and hundreds, literally hundreds and hundreds of episodes of the podcast talking about that. If you go to tappingpodcast.com, you will see that amazing history. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how do we use tapping to enhance something that is good, not simply to release something that is overwhelming. Now, before we do that, before we jump in, if you are new to tapping, tapping is this absolutely amazingly powerful tool that I use daily with myself. I use my clients all the time. If you are new to tapping, all you need to do is follow the little red arrow in the upper right-hand corner. That will take you to learn2tap.com. It will give you all of the basics so you can jump in even deeper than what we're sharing with you here today. Now, before we jump into this, what I want you to do is I want you to do a little experiment with me. If you're in a space you can close your eyes to do this, that's great. If you can't close your eyes, that's okay. But what I want you to do is I want you to imagine yourself in a place that you love. Imagine yourself in a place that you feel comfortable or supported or secure or calm. Whatever it is, sometimes we talk about going to your happy place. I want you to really think about that place. For me, when I'm thinking of my happy place, I think of myself being on the back of an Icelandic horse riding across the countryside. So I want you to tune into that space for you, whatever that is. And if you tune into that space, I want you to notice anything positive that is happening in your body. Maybe there's a little raise of energy. Maybe there's a decompression in your chest. Maybe there's a sense of relaxation and calm. Maybe you feel your mind slowing down as you tune into that. And as you tune into that positive feeling, what I want you to do is I just want you to allow that feeling to grow. I want you to almost imagine like there's a little volume level on that where you can make that sensation, making the calm deeper, the energy more energized, the stillness in your mind even stiller, and just tune into that and tune it up. Take a nice big deep breath. Now I want you to think about the opposite. I want you to think about something that is happening today, sometime this week, that is going to be unpleasant. Either it's something that you're not very good at, it's something that you have to do, it's going to take too much time, whatever it is. You got something coming up this week, I'm guessing, that you don't enjoy. Tune into that. And again, notice what's happening inside of your system, the feelings that you're feeling, the dread. Maybe you get smaller, maybe you get tense, maybe you get hunched over, and just notice that. Now what I want you to do, once again, go back to your happy place. Go back to that place that we just tuned into. Take another nice big deep breath. For me, a sunny day in Iceland in the summer. Now for me, and probably for you when you experienced that, you felt the emotional roller coaster, the feeling good, the feeling bad, the feeling good. But what you might not have noticed or might not have realized when we were doing that is how quickly the second time when we went to the happy place, that it was probably easier for you to get back to that comfortable resource state. Even though we just leaned into something gross in front of it, then you were able to come out of it. And that's because you just did this much practice the moment before of thinking of your happy place. And that is because we have states and emotions associated with different moments in time. And what we can do is we can re-access them. Now, one way we can re-access them is we can put ourselves in that place, me being in Iceland, that sense of calm, or we can just tune back into that sensation again. We can recapture it and we can tune it back in, which means we now have access to that resource state in the moment. Like you already do things to calm yourself down. When you're stressed out, or maybe you do a little tapping, or maybe you do a little stretching, or maybe you take a step outside to get some fresh air. You're already used to doing the first action to create the best action. So today what we want to do is we don't want that to happen by accident. Instead, we want to take those good feelings, those good emotions, those good states, and we want to make them so they are easier for us to access. And the way that we make them easier to access is as we are experiencing them in the moment, we're not just experiencing them, we're naming them and we're consciously tuning them up and turning them up so we can feel them on a deeper level. The two examples I always like to think about when I'm doing this, the first is my friend Christine. Christine grew up here in New York. We went to college together. And so whenever she comes home to visit her family, we always get together and have a meal, have a drink, hang out. Like I said, I've known her since 1993. Very, very dear friend. And one of the things that we always do in my neighborhood is we'll get something to eat. Then we'll just walk around the neighborhood on a summer night, just enjoying the evening. And inevitably, we will end up walking along the East River. And from where I am in Brooklyn, if you look to the right, you can see Midtown. If you look to the left, you see all of the bridges connecting to Brooklyn and downtown New York and the Statue of Liberty off in the distance. And even though I live in the neighborhood, and even though Christine grew up here, one of the things you inevitably do at sunset, because the sun is actually setting over New York City from my vantage point, is you have to take a picture of it. And my phone is littered with all of these photos of New York that look way too tiny in my phone because of the perspective and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm not a professional photographer, but it's still something you do. But when Christine takes that photo, she does something different. She takes the photo and then she stops and she closes her eyes and she goes, she tenses her body, and it's almost as if she's trying to pull the landscape, the skyline of New York in this moment on a beautiful spring or summer night and imprinting it on every single cell in her body. She didn't just take a picture, because so often we're like, oh, take a picture, I can look back at that. She's taking the picture with her camera, but she's taking a picture with her entire experience. She's turning it up. The other way I like to think about turning it up, I'm old enough to remember old tube televisions. And in tube television, there was a blue and a red and a green beaming light into the screen in the back. And on the front of our old television, I can remember this downstairs, is at the bottom, there were 3 little knobs. Next to the volume knob, there was a red, there was a blue, and there was a green. And they were even color coded on the color at the end of the knob was colored. And what that was, it was saturation, how much green and yellow and red you wanted to add. And so as a little kid, what I would do is I'd take all 3 knobs and I'd turn them all the way to the right. And in the process of doing it, it would just make it techno-colored green and yellow and red and blue. And it just looked so silly and so bright because all of the colors were becoming more saturated. The way that we access these old states that we like, that we can access them again and again and again, is by doing exactly that. Is Christine taking the picture and not just taking the picture, but turning it up inside of her system on the television set, turning those knobs to make it bright as possible. And so this is what the process looks like, and we're going to add tapping into it. So if you want to do this with me, if you're capable and safe in this moment to tap, go right ahead. Tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And I want you to tune into the positive feeling or positive state that you would like to be able to access easier and you would like to heighten. And so the feeling might be calm, or the state might be confident. And there's a fine line between feelings and states, but just where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? Energized, focused, whatever it is. And as you tap on the collarbone, what I want you to do is I just want you to imagine yourself feeling that way. And you might, like we did before, have to go someplace to feel it. So if it's confident, you might need to remember the last time you were confident, or you can just turn into that sense of confidence and just feel it in your system. How do you know you're more confident? Maybe you're more upright. Maybe you have more energy. Just feel it in your body. And as you tap on the chin, now what I want you to do is whatever sensation is happening, is I want you to turn it up. Feel more powerful, more erect. Feel more calm. Feel more clear. Whatever the sensations are, notice where they're showing up in your brain, in your body, and just feel them becoming more technicolor and stronger. And as you tap on the side of the eye, and as this heightens, now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine these feelings are seeping into every single cell of your body. Under the arm, it's permeating, it's becoming a permanent part of you. So it's not just a moment, it's something you can access. As you tap on the collarbone, take a nice big deep breath, let it go. Maybe even shake a little, feel yourself in your body. Take another nice big deep breath. And as you tap on the collarbone, tune back into it. Feel it again in your body. Feel it all of those places. And as you tap on the chin, take another nice big deep breath. And again, just turn it up. Feel it easier, stronger, more vivid, whatever the vocabulary is. Side of the eye, feel it absorbing into every single cell of your body. Take a nice big deep breath. Give me a big stretch. Shake it off. It really is that simple. If you, over the course of the next 3 or 4 days, take less than 90 seconds, do exactly what we've done, tune back into that sensation, what it's going to do is it's training your body to know that's a state that you want to live in. It's slowly creating the habit of feeling calm, of feeling confident, of feeling grounded, of feeling in control, of feeling whatever it is you want to feel in that particular way. And so when we do this over and over again, we're reinforcing it. Our emotional states, the way that we think, the way that we feel, those are habitual as well. And so if we practice going to the state that we want, tapping, clearing all of the resistance to being in that state, it makes it easier and easier for us to access over and over again. So it really is that simple. I hope you like that little process. Give it a try. If there is someone in your life who could use a process like this, please be our ambassador, pass it along. We always talk about the fact that our marketing budget is your word of mouth. And the best part is if you reach out to a friend or a loved one right now and say, hey, I saw this video, I thought of you, it might make your day a little bit better. Even if they don't watch this, the fact you've reached out is going to make their day a little bit better. It's cheesy. When I say it, it feels cheesy. I know it's cheesy, and it's also true. If you enjoyed this little process, if you look on your screen right now, you see access to every single one of our podcasts in the past. There's lots of great training there, bite-sized little nuggets so you can use your tapping right away. Click on those, go deeper with this so you can get more out of the tapping process. And I look forward to talking to you and tapping with you again real soon.